U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken headed to Brazil for the G20 foreign ministers meeting and talks on Wednesday with President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. The independent-minded Brazilian leader has strongly criticized Israel's war on Hamas and the high number of Palestinian civilians killed. He had this to say on Sunday on a visit to Ethiopia.
What's happening in the Gaza Strip isn't a war. It's a genocide. It's not a war of soldiers against soldiers. It's a war between a highly prepared army and women and children.
At the State Department Tuesday, spokesperson Matthew Miller said the Biden administration disagrees with Lula's comments.
We have been quite clear that we do not believe that genocide has occurred in Gaza. We want to see the conflict ended as soon as practicable. We want to see humanitarian assistance increased in a sustained manner to innocent civilians in Gaza, but we do not agree with those comments.
One expert says Lula is trying to make his voice heard about matters over which his country has little influence.
He tried to punch above its weight, trying to influence the war in Ukraine, the war in Gaza, and there are limitations. We should recognize that Brazil, in terms of foreign policy, has no power excess, or has not strength to interfere in this area. On the contrary, we are very strong, and we are a world power in environment, in food security, or in energy transaction. We should concentrate on these areas.
Barbosa says he does not know why Lula has been silent on the political situation in neighboring Venezuela, a likely Blinken topic of discussion during the G20 foreign ministers meeting in Rio de Janeiro and his visit Friday to Argentina. Venezuelan's government and opposition met Monday in Caracas to discuss their differing views on the detention of a prominent human rights attorney and an agreement to work on conditions for a free and fair presidential election this year. On the eve of the G20 foreign ministers meeting, a top Brazilian diplomat said that conflicts around the world have reached the level of the Cold War and that global leaders need to adapt the international system to prevent new conflicts. In Argentina, Blinken will hold talks with its outspoken new president, Javier Milei, who is a staunch supporter of Israel. Cindy Saine, VOA News.